I can't say it enough. The people are warm. The food is delicious. The art scene is incomparable to anything I've seen elsewhere. It's very unique, very eccentric, bold, and the climate is wonderful. Yeah, honestly, just like very inviting. The entire country is just very inviting. A couple of things, yeah, that could use tweaking, but we understand that no place is perfect. So Nigeria, we love you. You're amazing. Invite us back. Ishé said he's not doing any vlogging today. Here I am just capturing our last few moments at the Musada luxury.
China or whatever.
Turns out it's real, guys. Look at that. We knew it was the Versace emblem because we see it even on the pavement. So we didn't know it was real Versace.
Last day. Find out.
And now our bags are sealed, so it's too late to take some with us.
Since we can tip it and we weren't supposed to. Great service.
Any final words? Cheers.
Final word. Be nice to good service.
That part.
Oh. Yeah, we don't have to beat out this music too bad. So, I just spent a whole diatribe about what happened.
You have to practice it. That's what that was. You have to practice.
Alright, I gotta run to the bathroom. Nickel and diamond.
Look at the bag you saw over here, ladies.
And we are vlogging our last day in Nigeria. Take it away.
Hey Taconas, welcome back. So we arrived on Wednesday, but we were destroyed, distrutti. So we had nothing to give you. Plus, I caught a cold, so I've been MIA for the last couple of days. He has been patiently waiting for me to get my voice back, and energy so that we could finally wrap up this trip with a pretty little bow. So we're here on a Saturday, but Tuesday is when we left Nigeria. The last time you saw us, yeah, we had done that Karu waterfall hike.
Impromptu hike
Where the Uber driver was like, "What is this?" I'm just kidding. You guys don't know how to pick a location. No, it was beautiful. It was small, but it was beautiful, and it's still nature, so it was still healing and therapeutic and magnificent.
So that morning the first day we actually woke up early enough to catch breakfast at a good time, because it was complimentary breakfast at the hotel. First day is the last day we actually woke up to get fresh food, but she was sick from the night before, and I went down to breakfast. I got some fresh OJ. Oh no, we both went down, did we?
We both went down, we both went down, and there was no buffet, to our surprise. No buffet. Where's the buffet? Sorry, inside joke. There was no buffet, and apparently it was because this is Tuesday morning, mind you, right? So everyone is checked out of the hotel, but as everyone that was there for the wedding, and there were multiple weddings, all gone, but here we are. the last of the bunch still hanging around. So they didn't have a buffet, but they invited us to sit down and still have a complimentary breakfast. So we ordered a la carte, and then a la carte ended up being, we'll just bring you everything because you guys are such lovely people and you guys can have a bit of everything, which was really nice. Really, really generous, especially for people that don't eat everything. But we got ourselves some, well, there was an omelet that was on the plate, which I did not partake in. But I had the pancakes and the tomatoes that came with the beans.
It was
English style
half
breakfast.
English breakfast.
Half continental, yeah. Nothing Nigerian about it. And that was okay because, you know, thanks to the wedding and our week in Lagos, we had plenty of delicious Nigerian food. So after that, so mind you, at this point, yeah, it's because our Uber, sorry, not our Uber actually, because the wedding party still had arranged for our shuttle back to the airport. So our shuttle driver was due to collect us at 9 a.m. So we were downstairs having breakfast at 8. We had gotten up at 7 just to tie up any last little bit of packing. We both showered, etc. Went downstairs, had some brekkie. Brekkie took a long time to get to us, like everything else in Africa, because everything is so fresh. Sidebar, now that you've been back home for the last 3 or 4 days, do you miss the piping hot fresh food that was served to you in Africa, or
yes.
Not? You do? Okay. The freshness.
I want it coming out steaming hot now.
You do.
And
except for on a raw detox.
and well, yeah, but as far as spice meters, heat or hot, like how spicy hot a food is, I can handle anything now. After you eat that food, after you eat Nigerian food,
it's true.
You can handle any spice, any pepper sauce, any Tabasco. You can take all the petty sauces and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. True story. So you were missing that. Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Well, as I just mentioned a moment ago, we are going to be doing, or rather we have gone back to our, detox now that we're back stateside. So, yeah, our mukbangs will be pretty
sparse. They're gonna be liquid.
Liquid, and just maybe there won't be as much range for the next little while. But we definitely need this detox. So, cheer us on. If anything, we would love it.
Yeah.
So whilst we were waiting for our delicious breakfast to arrive, I went just outside the gates to Clever Kitchen, where I ordered 2 smoothies for us to take away, and a vegan pulled mushroom, like it was like a barbecue pulled pork, it would have been, but vegan, made with mushrooms, sandwich. And that was our food for the aircraft, well, for the airport, because we knew we had a really long day. So typically I wouldn't do what I did this time, which is we left Abuja in the morning. So our driver, like I said to you, collected us at 9. Our flight was at around 11:45 to get into Lagos. And then from there, we actually had like 10 hours at the airport. So I typically wouldn't do that. I typically would have gotten us to Lagos. We would have checked in overnight, had a restful sleep in Lagos, and then left the following day. But I let it go because I didn't want to leave the airport, because if you know what it's like going in and out of Lagos airport, it's not something you want to experience multiple times in a short time span. So that's why we didn't do that. And also because I truly thought we were going to also upgrade ourselves once more to the flatbed situation. More on that later. So that was the only reason. Otherwise, guys, I have to be honest with you, I really don't recommend having an itinerary that looks like that. It's better to break it up, in my opinion. Enjoy the day in whatever city you're in. Like if Lagos had been a city that was easily accessible without all the trauma and drama that happens at the airport, I would definitely say you're better off you know, staying for another day, hanging out, checking yourself into a hotel, getting a restful sleep, and then flying out to the States the following day. That's just me. But I'm also one that's a stickler for comfort. Should we take it back now to Lekki? Still in Abuja?
Lekki? Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I was just ready to get in the Uber, or our
shuttle driver.
We had a shuttle, so I was late getting in the shuttle because I was just on my phone trying to make reels, and she was already ready to go, and I had to go from the restaurant to the 3rd floor for a room, and she was like, "What happened? Let's go." I was like, "Oops, my bad."
He's normally the one that's keeping us on time.
Yeah, I had to take all the luggage downstairs, and we got in. She had the food from the restaurant, and yeah, we got in. We drove to the airport. That drive was I don't know. We was tired. Like I didn't want to film no more. I didn't want to. I missed something that I wanted to record, but I was like, it's just gonna have to wait till next time. And yeah, got to the gate of the airport. I was like, damn, this was a smooth ride, but airport drama ensued again. So, I mean, the first thing that happened when the driver dropped us off, he summoned one of the porters over there like we needed help. I was like, damn, we don't need no help. But they came, and I was like, I don't even know how much Naira I have. I don't have any dollars on me because we're getting ready to go. So it's like, I don't have, you know, I don't want to not like give you a little amount and you'd be like looking at me and I'll be like, well, that's all I got. So anyway, they helped us with our bags in the airport, and then we didn't even get to the front counter without some kind of cargo company stopped her. I didn't see what's going on, so I'm talking to this dude, and we're sitting there. I'm talking with him. She's talking with this other company who apparently is supposed to, they handle the bags once they go through the counter, and then they take it over from there. So I don't know why they was up front instead at the counter, but I don't know if they was helping out the counter. I don't know what was happening, but the guy that was helping us with the bags, he was like just standing there, and I'm thinking, oh, this is his job. He's just here to do his job. And he said, oh, okay, I'm about to go. Like, I'm about to go. Got anything? And I was like, man, I don't got no more Naira. I tried to give him 20. That's like a penny. I guess, in the U.S. Gave him a 20 exchange. I didn't know, but I was like, this is all I got, man. He was like, what? It's not fair. Like, you know what? You don't have any money. Let me just take the bags back outside. And I was like, all right. But then she was enthralled with some conversation, and I was like, damn, I can't leave her. So she suggested, oh no, I was like, yeah, I can exchange the money. And there was an exchange. She told me where to go get the money exchanged. The dude, he was like kind of pissed off. And I was like, I didn't ask you to help me. He was like, but your driver called us over. I was like, okay. And I was like, dude, we have to pay for excess baggage. And he was like, basically, he was like, well, that's not my fault. Like, that's you guys. I'm like, I can't believe I'm up here even discussing this. Because anyway, I went and got some change. I got the change. I gave him, I said, how much is the cart? He goes, 500 naira. I gave him 500 naira. And he was like, and what else? Like, where's, you got something for me? Like, that's for the cart. I was like, I paid for the cart. Because I would have gave him something, but he kind of pissed me off with that. It's not his fault that we got to pay for excessive bags or whatever. I just like looked at him like, and then he probably went and walked off. But it wasn't about that. It was just like, you know, you can't like say something slick and then get expected. I don't know. That day was just weird. Like I said,
we were tired.
But the whole trip was cool and fine, amazing. Lovely, except for the airports. The airports is the only time where there was like an issue where I was like, man.
The only times we weren't smiling in Nigeria were literally the times at the airports.
Yeah, so she was talking to this, to the company who stopped us before we got even to our ticket counter to check in. We're checking in from Abuja to go to Lagos. It's domestic.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It shouldn't be so much.
No.
There shouldn't be so much to it. So they stopped us talking about, we can weigh your bags here and we'll take them. And she was like, what? And who are you?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, he flashes that he has like a polo shirt on, which has one of the logos is Green Africa, but there are other logos as well. But he's like, see, I work with Green Africa. And I'm like, so between what is happening with him and the fact that we have been approached by this other group of people that I was not familiar with, in terms of like what typically tends to happen at an airport, it was just a lot of chaos. So at that point, I think Ishé had managed to conclude his business with the porter that we didn't actually hire ourselves, but nonetheless, I think he concluded his business, and then I was basically able to say, well, can you stay here so I can go speak to the airline? Because again, and it's foreign to me, it doesn't mean that it's not legitimate, but it was foreign to me, meaning a cargo company stating that they could take our bags for us at a reduced rate than what we would pay the actual airline carrier to transport them from Abuja to Lagos. Now, I'm not saying that this is not legitimate. It probably is. I'm sure it is. However, I only have experience in the West. And when I say experience, like I have actual airline experience, 10 years under my belt, 3 working at the airport as a ticket agent, and then 7 years as a cabin crew member. So international flights, international travel, certainly international airports are nothing new to me. And there's a pretty standard of procedures, SOPs as we would call them in the airline industry, that happen virtually everywhere. So again, if you can shed light on this, and you can put a comment in below and let us know if you have dealt with a company like this before, if it was smooth, and if it's something that you would recommend, please let us know. But just given the fact that it was new to me and it was foreign and we were tired and we were not about to take a chance I was just like, just stay put, because the minute he said to us, if you give your bags to Green Africa, they're going to charge you 5,000 naira for every additional kilo or something, but I'll only charge you 3,500. Okay, so you're admitting you're not with the airline, but I have a ticket with this airline, so I need to speak to this airline to get some understanding as to whether I should be giving my bags to a stranger, because my instinct tells me not to do that. But again, I don't know, how other countries are doing things, especially since,
And it's not to say that we pay them, and then when we get to the counter, they charge us too. And we're like, we paid them, and they're like,
I don't know.
Anybody tell you to pay them?
Right, anything could have happened. So I went up to the counter. There was some fulala there too. Whatever. But in the end, I was basically able to speak to one of the supervisors, and she said to me, no, don't go with them. But she was very busy, so she didn't go into explain. She just said, no, don't go there. Just bring your bags here. So she didn't discount it, but she was just like, don't do it. And because she didn't have time to explain, that was all I needed to hear.
Yeah, but while they were telling us that they could, that they're supposed to take the bags and all that, they weighing the bags and they saying this was over.
Yeah.
Why don't you take this out of there, put it in there?
Right.
So it seemed kind of legit to me. I'm like, okay, let me put this.
Yeah.
Take this out of here. How many kilos? All right, 1 kilo here. Put it in here. And she's like, no, don't do that. I'll be back. She's like, don't you? We ain't got time to do that. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, we just didn't even know what authority they had even. So anyways, so we ended up, telling them that we would not be doing business with them that day, but that did not stop them from still pursuing us whilst we were queuing up to actually check in with the carrier, Green Africa. So, and at that point, they had actual staff members to kind of ask them to leave us alone and not solicit us.
They was worried about us paying more.
Yeah.
Like, people don't really worry. It's like, it's going to cost you more here, like even up at the counter. I'm just like.
But that's actually why we were short on Naira, is because we had already paid excess baggage going from Lagos to Abuja. So the Naira that we had was already spoken for.
Yeah.
It was allocated to that, which is what I kept telling them. This is not our first flight. Like we flew out here. We knew that. Yeah. So we had allocated that money and put it to the side specifically for that.
Yeah, because the day before, we went to get Naira after hiking, and we added up how much we're gonna need the following day.
Yeah.
So that's what we took out. That's why it's like, I just can't be giving out tips here, tips there. It's like everything has its place.
At that point.
Another point, the last night after I got the Naira, I left my ATM card in the machine.
Right.
So, but nothing happened. We ran. We got back to the room. I was able to report it lost and stop it, and no other transactions happened. So, knock on wood.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
All good. People just didn't realize. I mean, obviously they had no way of knowing, but for us, we had already been struggling with the whole cash thing since we had arrived in Nigeria, because we had not been prepared. Simply, had we been prepared like Aunt Sue, we too would have just come with, a substantial amount of cash in large bills that we would have then converted. But we were constantly taking out, $50 here, $40 there, because we kept running into this issue. And because even whilst in Niger, you can't take out a substantial amount of money with each interaction, the whole thing just was so cumbersome. It wasn't that we only wanted to take $40 or $50 out at a time. That was literally the max that you could take out. So sometimes we would be doing, actually it wasn't even 50, I think 20, no, what was the cap? Was it 20,000 Naira?
20,000.
So which is, it's about $50 US, which goes very quickly in Nigeria. And so we found ourselves at a cash machine literally sometimes multiple times a day. It was really very, very daunting.
And you have
because
to do
no one accepts cards.
Yeah, and if you're doing $100, you gotta do this 5 times.
Right, exactly. So some of them cap you at 10,000. 20,000 was when we found ATMs that actually even allocated allowed for that. But when we were at one particular ATM, that's right, in Lagos, where he could only do 10,000 at a time. So imagine having to pull out 5 different transactions, and there's chaos all around you, and you're worried that your bank might see this as fraudulent somehow and put a block on it whilst you're overseas. The whole thing pertaining to money around this trip was pretty uncomfortable for the both of us, but also a huge learning experience. And thank you, Sue, for that tip. We now know, just come with a stack of large US bills and then convert them, because they don't want your dollars, they want Naira.
Yeah, I mean, they even blocked some of your banks from. I was blocked from accessing my own bank because I was in Nigeria. I had to had to get a VPN, had to download that, and it seemed to work. So that's three things that we didn't like about our trip. It probably wasn't, but I would say, out of 5 things, because we got 5 things we hate, 5 things we love. We got probably 100 things we love and just 5 that I can't say hate, but just could have been better, or we could have lived without. So first we got the airport. That's number 1. Number 2 is not being able to use our cards. We had credit cards was totally useless. Even though there's a Chase bank that's international, we couldn't use the card. 3 was, the internet situation with, having to download a VPN just to get on the site. Now I can understand if you're trying to stream or you're trying to do something else. And I had to tell somebody else that, and he was young. So it's not like just an old person don't know. A lot of people just didn't know that you should, download a VPN. A lot of people aren't that savvy.
Right.
So this guy, what's his name?
Doug?
No.
Oh.
The American guy that went to South Africa, he was telling us about that.
Oh, Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac.
I explained to him that he was having the same problem. And I was like, oh yeah, just download a VPN, put it for the United States. So there's two more that we have to think of. After we finally got our bags checked and we got checked on and I paid the excess baggage, we went going through to get to the gate. How did that go? I think, we had to go, we went upstairs. So we went through another direction, because when it was different than when we came in. So we went upstairs to get on our flight. Took a while, it was crowded, there was a lot of people flying. We sat down, we used the bathroom. Pretty much nothing else happened in the airport besides what happened downstairs. And we got on our plane. We had the same flight attendants who we came there with, which is cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. We did.
Yeah, they was tall. For girls, they were really tall. We got off the flight. We was kind of like, cool, nothing else can happen. But we was landing in Lagos, so I was on high alert. I was just like, man, here we go again. Like, I was just ready to expect everything. Anything that happened, I was gonna, so I won't be surprised by nothing. So, surprisingly, when we get to we get off the plane and we get in the baggage area to collect our bags, big giant sign, carts are free. I was like, what? And she's like, should I grab a cart? I was like, yeah, it's free, go ahead, grab it. Oh man, because like I can't deal with like tipping another person. He's looking at me like, I was like, I gave you, like, I'm not giving you like the equivalent of $20 and $10, like a couple of dollars. Like, I don't know where it is, but I worked in industries where tipping was part of your income and necessary. And I never gave somebody a look if I got a certain amount. Like, I was happy to get whatever I got. So that was, I just can't. I didn't want to deal with that no more. Just want to grab our stuff, get in the car, oh, that's another thing. So, yeah, I think they really need to invest in putting a tram or a train, some kind of shuttle system from terminal to terminal, because we was at the domestic terminal and we had to get to the main terminal to get on Delta. So we had to take a taxi or Uber. Now, she called Uber, requested one. He called, he's like, where are you? Or where you going? And we were like, the main terminal. Click. He canceled the trip. I guess it wasn't worth his time. And we saw why. Because everybody was waiting to get out the baggage area, and then it poured down rain and the guards locked the door. So they locked us all in until it stopped raining. Lucky we had 10 hours to play with. So finally it stopped raining. It was only like 10 minutes at that, maybe 5 minutes. It was just a big heavy pour, and then it
But
cleared
why?
up.
But why lock people in as though there's like a dangerous threat?
They want people
outside.
coming in, trekking in water. I don't know.
It's rainy season.
Weird.
And everyone that's from there is accustomed to these torrential downpours that happen, and then the sun comes out and everything dries off again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
It seems dangerous to me.
I don't know why they did that. It
I
don't
don't
make
care
sense.
for it.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, we got out and we got our bags. Like, we had no issues. Knock on wood. Because it was people that we had met that bags didn't arrive with them, and their bags came on the day they was leaving. It was all kinds of craziness with bags.
Well, Hannah was already in New York. She was one of the attendees at this wedding, a New Yorker, and her bag was en route to Abuja, where the wedding was, about 3 days after she had already returned to New York.
It finally was arriving.
She put it in the group chat. She's like, so baggage update for everyone. My bag is officially en route to Abuja. And I have been in New York now for a couple of days.
Yeah, that was crazy. So anyway,
Not sure what happened there.
look, we get outside the terminal, and somehow all the taxi drivers, they're like on one side of the parking lot, we're on this side of the parking lot, and a street divides us. And there was some kind of force field because they couldn't come across. They couldn't come across up to the terminal where the baggage area, where everybody was at with their bags, and that was good. But they was, hey, taxi, wants a drive? You want to need somewhere to go? All kinds of catcalling and everything. And we was like, what we gonna do? Call another Uber. It's like, they gonna cancel. It's not real. It's like, no, just try one. Maybe, he might be here. And then couldn't get connected. So I was like, I'm gonna go over here and talk to one of these drivers. So I'm saying, how much would it cost for the Uber? And then there was a taxi company inside the baggage area that would have took us from the domestic terminal to the main terminal. They would have took us in a taxi for 6,000 naira.
Lagos Airport, please,
Yeah.
I beg. You guys need to do something about this situation. It's appalling.
Yeah.
Honestly, passengers should not have to carry the burden of paying to move from one terminal to another. It's just not on. Like, we're already paying for so much. I'm sure airport improvements, taxes have already been added to our ticket fares, this, that, and what have you. We're already patrons of the airport whilst they're purchasing this, that, and the next. Like, it's just, we're already under so much distress and duress that we just don't need to have to think about transportation from one terminal to the other, especially in a country where credit cards are not even, like, international credit cards are barely a thing. And you have plenty of foreigners like us who now have to consider how are we going to make this transition from domestic to international and vice versa if we don't have any Naira? Like, it's just too many things that you're putting up in our, it's too many challenges that you're throwing into the passengers. I think, you know, their experience that really takes away from flying in and out of all of the airports in Nigeria, if that's how it is at all the airports. Wouldn't you say? Like, it's just, it's really off-putting. It's really, really off-putting.
Yeah. So, anyway, we go back. So they told us that it would be 6,000 Naira to transport us from that terminal to the main terminal.
You see what's going on?
And then, so we back in the U.S. So something is going on. So
as
anyway,
we're recording this vlog, we might have some company.
Okay. We compared the 6,000, which would have only cost 1,400 from Uber. So it's like 6,000, 1,400. So won't no damn Uber come. So I'm like, okay, I'll just offer the guy the middle. So I go over there, talk to the guy. I'm like, can you take us over there for 3,000? And he's like, oh no, you know I gotta pay for the ticket to come in and park, and then when I go over there I gotta pay for there. And I was like, well, how much? She's like, 5,000. I'm like, all right, it's less than 6,000. Forget it, let's go, because at this point we just want to go over there. I'm tired of haggling. I'm tired. I just want to go. So we go with this guy. We bring it. I got the two big suitcases plus a medium-sized one. She has the two carry-on. We go into this, you know, mind you, like the ground is not the best paved, and I'm trying to grip this, trying to get these luggage pieces over to this guy in his car. So he's walking with us, he's helping us, and then on our way to his car, we just get mobbed by a whole bunch of drivers. It was like when we were like collateral damage, he was getting mobbed by his compadres, his colleagues, if you will. They was like yelling at him, and I couldn't understand what they was yelling at. I knew they was speaking half pidgin and half whatever, Yoruba or Igbo. They was speaking and they was yelling. Apparently, I don't know, he was low on the totem pole or something. It was like, are you with him? Like, why you going with him? I was like, cause I talked to him. It was like, how much he charge you? I was like, I don't know. And it was like, where are you going? I was like, we're going to the main terminal. And he said, yeah, we could do it for 4,000. And I was like, 4,000? Cause I was like, did I hear you right? You even cheaper than this guy? I'm thinking to myself, all right, 4,000? I'm trying to see if he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so they take us from this guy. I don't know what happened to this guy. And another driver, he was like, follow me. I was like, where? He's like, to my car, it's over here. And I'm like, I don't know what just happened. I do not understand what just happened here. Like, we was going with one guy. All the other drivers was yelling at him, talking about, I don't know what they were saying, but I'm thinking, hey, you know the routine. This is a hierarchy. We've been here for 8 hours. I don't know, your car ain't nice enough. I don't know, these people are too good for you. I don't know what they was doing, but we went in with another driver, finally got in the car. I was like, man, can we please get to the terminal? Like, I just want this day to end right now. So then I'm putting on my Google Maps to make sure we go into the right place, because I don't know what happened again. I see his sign. I see his badge, but I don't know. I don't know what kind of car.
Everyone has a badge.
Yeah, everybody has a badge. So
I don't know how official they are.
and look, we finally get to the airport, and then getting out, and I'm already like, we don't need no help. I pay the guy.
Because we're on the defense at this point. You have to understand.
Yeah.
We are truly on the defense.
Yeah, so I get the guy's number. So I'm like, hey, we might need you for next time when we come back. So I'm gonna keep his number, and then I pay him, and then we a little chit chat or whatever. So then he takes off, and this guys need help with your bag. No, I don't need help. You need help with your bag? No, I need help. I just want to get in the airport. So we get in there, we're waiting in line outside of the door of the airport, and then they spraying some shit. They spraying some kind of stuff. It was like, what was it? Like supposed to
Disinfectant aerosol, which I'm sure was probably more harmful for your lungs than.
Yeah, just at that point,
You
just
know,
let me breathe whatever.
You know, if you know, you know. Watch JP Sears videos. Is probably less damaging to your body than whatever they're spraying on these bags. But oh, and right on top of that sign too, what was there? Do not something it was like an anti-corruption.
Yes. Yeah, it said what's that called when you
don't like a
extortion.
bribe.
It said extortion is illegal. Do not give staff money. It's a giant sign.
And yet the guy's standing right underneath that sign.
Well, no, he let us in. He just let us in.
Oh, he didn't. Oh no, it was the guys
we got in the airport.
At the X-ray. You're right. It was the
and
guys
then we're
at the
trying
X-ray.
to walk to the counter, to the Delta counter, and these guards tell us that we gotta talk to these guys. Like, what guys?
Yeah.
They're the guards with guns. So I'm like, okay, where at? And it was some guys that right next to the conveyor belt.
The X-ray machine.
The X-ray machine, right? When you get your luggage off, then they was like, you gotta talk to that guy. And it was like 4 or 5 guys in this little area next to the X-ray machine. And I guess right before I went to talk to him, I saw a couple, and they slid those guys some money. I was like, oh no, it's not happening. I was like, we can't even get out the country. Like, we in the airport. I'm thinking like we safe, but we not really safe. So I'm like,
and remember, we did not allocate for this kind of stuff. We just simply didn't. Maybe we're naive, but we allocated we wanted to clear the charges towards our room, because we had dinner in our room a couple of times. We needed to clear our laundry charges at the hotel as well in Abuja. We needed to clear the excess baggage fees from Abuja airport. These are the things that we had money for. Outside of that, we knew we were getting on a flight back to the US, so we didn't have Naira for anything else.
I mean, it's like when you go to an airport in the US, that's the last thing on your mind is porters coming up to you, or you tipping people when you carrying your own bags. So most people don't even pull out money to go to the airport.
No.
They just go to the airport, and then they get where they're going, and then they pull out money. But
yeah, it's not just in the US though. It's Europe and Asia, even in Latin America. I mean, okay, maybe in the Caribbean.
I'm just saying where I live.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm
but
sure
we've
other
traveled.
places too. Yeah.
No, but we've traveled to a lot of other countries where that's not been an issue. I guess maybe there is some of that though in Latin America. To be fair, there is some of that, and in the Caribbean, yeah, there's a bit of that there. But we've not traveled for a minute like that as well because of.
The point is like you don't allocate money to just in case something happens in the airport.
Porters, X-ray machine people. Eventually even customs people were asking. We didn't allocate for all of that.
Well, let's finish the story with the guy, the X-ray machine. We didn't have anything that caught the X-ray, so we grabbed our bags. We was trying to go, and the guards told us we gotta talk to them. So I saw the guys slide some money to them, and then they leave, and I'm like, okay, they got some money today. Like, he was like, "Where you going?" And I was like, "I'm going home to the United States." And he was like, "So where you coming from? You know, how long you been here?" And I was like, "Yeah, we came 2 weeks ago. We came for a wedding. We was in Lagos. We was in Abuja. We just came from Abuja. We here in Lagos, and we going home, connecting our flight." And he was like, "Why you got so many bags?" I'm like, "Cause we went to a wedding. We got clothes in there." He's like, "We had our t-shirts on that says Sage, Crystals, and Trap Music." And he was like, "Oh, you guys are music producers or something? Is that a record label?" Like, no. He's like, "You not with those guys over there?" Guess there was some rappers in there. He was like, "No, it's just a t-shirt." He's like, "Where'd you get it?" I was like, "From the States." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, you got something for me?" I was like, "Well, damn." I thought it was illegal. The sign, I just walked past a sign not even 20 feet away from me. And then I'm like, "I just saw somebody gave y'all money. Don't y'all got something enough for the day?" Like, "Look, sir, I don't have any more Naira. We had to pay excess baggage. I had to get the taxi up here. I had to pay for a taxi." I'm just like, just going down. I'm just like, I don't have it. And he was like, "Oh, okay. All right, well, have a safe trip," or something like that. And I was like, Jesus, I just want to get through here without one more incident. So then we go to the Delta counter. He tries to upgrade our seats. That was something. Didn't happen because they ran out of seats or whatever. They had them on room.
No, they didn't. It was something weird.
Yeah.
Listen, if there are any employees that work for Delta, I would really appreciate some clarity on this, because I worked for Delta's sister company in Canada. I was a cabin crew member for them for 7 years, right? So I completely understand, certain procedures and how they can take place even on board, et cetera, But basically what happened to us is from the time that we got to Lagos, so early on, I was looking at wanting to upgrade us, because we had the flatbeds coming to Nigeria, and I wanted them also to leave Nigeria because it made such a huge difference. Ishé fell in love with it. He doesn't want to know anything other than flatbed. He's acting cool now, but but he's all about that flatbed life. Don't make me out to be the bougie one. He's just as bad now. So basically I had been looking, and within like a day or two of us arriving, the upgrade was no longer available as an option. You know how when you have the Delta app or any airline app, you have that option. It shows you what it would cost to upgrade the seats, right, when you open up your itinerary. So within a couple of days, the seats were gone, and I remember telling him, like, it won't allow me to. It looked like some of the seats were occupied, so they had the little stick figure men, and then other ones were just X'd out, which I thought was really weird. I'm like, why would they do that? So I said to Ishé, they must have sold out. We're SOL, but I'll continue to check back. And then the Delta Comfort became available. So I'm like, interesting. So Delta Comfort's available, but not Delta One. So we'll see. I'll just keep my eyes on it again. And then by the time we got to Abuja, the Delta One was pulled as well. But I could tell that the entire seat chart had not been occupied by actual seat fillers, passengers. So then I was like, well, what's going on here? This is bizarre. So I actually tried to buy a whole new ticket, just like a one-way ticket from Abuja back to the US, the same route that we were taking via Lagos, but as an actual like first class ticket from beginning to end, right? And I was able to get first class on those ones. So those X seats, anyone that's working for Delta, let me know. Those X seats were being held for some reason. They had been blocked off and were no longer options. Now, does Delta do this? If someone could let me know, because they want to save these seats for people who have like medallions that are like platinum or gold or apparently diamond, shout out to Michelle, so that they can be upgraded. Why do you guys block these seats off? Why are they not made available for people to actually want to upgrade and pay the fee? Like, why would those seats be blocked out? Because I'll repeat, if I were to buy a whole new ticket, those seats magically appeared. But as somebody with an actual itinerary, the opportunity to upgrade had been gone now for about 10 days or so. So it was very confusing to me. So needless to say that Delta was like, well, we can't do anything prior till 5 o'clock. Mind you, this is really early on. It's 1 something in the afternoon. This is a horribly long day of travel, which I don't recommend to anyone. So since we had about 4 hours to kill, thankfully there was a lounge pre-security, which you don't see all the time. Some airports have them. So pleasantly surprised to see that there was a lounge pre-security. So we stayed in that lounge. Thankfully they accepted credit cards, because although not his, anytime a credit card was accepted, which was very rare, it was always mine, not his, which I think he did that on purpose.
I went to the
Just
ATM.
kidding. That's true. He pulled out the cash. So they accepted credit cards, hallelujah. So at least we got to hang out and chill out there for a little while. Then right before 5, went back to the Delta office to ask, like, hey, have any seats been released? Because you appear to have first class, but you're not allowing me to upgrade. And he said, yes, we do have them, but because you're at the airport and it's the last minute, I have to charge you top tier, which is $3,000 per person. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, basically your old tickets get they're basically tossed out. You don't get to like put whatever the value was of your prior ticket in towards this $3,000 and pay the difference. They're like, we would scrap that ticket altogether, which I thought was really bizarre. And I said, well, how about this? What if once I'm on board, I ask the flight attendants what the cost is to upgrade? Because again, as a former cabin crew member, we were able to do that. If we still had seats at the front and people wanted them, we would sell it to them, not give, but sell it to them at a reduced rate, because at that point, the airline benefits from just getting those last few sales, as opposed to giving them away as free upgrades. Do you know what I mean? Or not allowing for flight attendants, cabin crew members to actually make the upgrade. You're just losing out, right? Because there are always going to be people who might like change their mind and be like, you know what? Actually, I do want to sit at the front. I've had that many a times when I used to work at the front as the cabin crew, purser, so to speak, where people would be like, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm in row 14, but I see that the first row is open. Here's my credit card. I'd like to upgrade. I can't tell you how many times I've done that, more than I care to count. So turns out though, you cannot do that with Delta. But at this particular moment, I didn't know that. The guy at the ticket counter is like, yeah, you're right. Just don't waste this $3,000 per person. Just speak to the flight attendants when you get on board. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that was my last little glimmer of hope. After 12 days of trying to figure out how I would upgrade us, this is literally like the last opportunity. And I was still really banking on that, because neither one of us had a great sleep the night before, which is not uncommon prior to a big trip like this. And we had already been, in travel, in transit mode for a good 10 hours or so, right? Because remember, we got up at 7 in Abuja. It's now 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So we kept our economy. Well, we had been upgraded to Delta Comfort. So we checked in, released our bags, etc., etc. I think that went fairly smoothly, right? We were early to check in because we had already been at the airport. I don't recall anything that happened at the check-in counter.
If you can call it smooth, but
what happened at the check-in counter? Oh, they did go through our bags and things, but
yeah, I mean, as smooth as it can get.
Yeah.
Then we got in the lounge.
Well, hold on.
Only had a drink.
He was almost taken away. He was almost misled going through security, because people were like, come this way, come this way.
We didn't get, no, that's after we left the lounge.
Oh, well, we're already out of the lounge at this point, right? Because we're checking in.
No, we checked our bags and we went to the lounge. Now we're going out of the lounge, going to the gates.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And then we get to the gate, they give us some cards to fill out.
Uh-huh. Except that you were almost deterred from going straight to the
right
gate.
there at the card, they're like, oh, you can fill them out over here, come over here.
No,
like,
a bunch of guys who were like, come this way, sir, come this way.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they're saying. Come fill it out over here. Come over here. And I started walking there, and then I was like, oh man, I got caught again. And I turned around.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay. All right. So we are telling the same story.
Yeah. I said, damn, they almost got me. Almost
I don't
got
know
me
why,
again.
what they would think they were going to get at that point. We're literally about to go through security. Like,
Yeah.
anyways.
They're like, oh, well, to use this station, it's 100 naira a piece. Or 200 naira, I don't know. No, so we got to the customs. We're going through our stuff. We got it back. Then we got to go through another customs agent. And that guy there was talking to us, you know, I don't know, making small talk. And he's like,
Right.
oh, and I was like, yeah. He's like, where you from? I was like, from here, really, but now I'm going home. You know, we was making small chat.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you got something for me? I was like, no, man. You know what? I go through the list of things that we had to buy on our way to get here. And he was like, okay, that's all right, man. Sorry. I didn't mean that.
That was actually the immigration guy. So the way it goes is you go through immigration, then you go through
Customs.
the secondary. Well, customs we did right after we went through the actual x-rays. Remember when that woman was like, hey, show me your cards, show me your cards?
Yeah.
That was technically customs. So it was a little bit of an odd setup because it's all happening at the x-ray security point. You're literally going through immigration, then there's another checkpoint. You go through the scanners, the x-rays, and then there's customs. So it's pretty convoluted, and at any point someone can stop you, and no one is like dressed in like it's not like I can sit here and tell you that everyone is in an official uniform, because they're not, but they seem to be operating under some sort of official capacity. It's really difficult to know.
I mean, when you're confident, yeah, you can make it.
Yeah, you can make it seem like that. So
yeah, we don't know who's working where unless you're behind the desk or behind a counter. That's the only way I know that you're for real, because you're sitting there helping people. Everybody else is coming to you with this and that on. And
with badges that we don't know if they just printed them in their car, like if they have like a mobile printer. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like if it's like it can be a little bit overwhelming and confusing. And I could see how a lot of people actually could get swept up in that.
It's easy.
It's very easy.
Especially if you've never been there before. You don't know. You don't know who is official
and who isn't. And you are tired and you're overwhelmed and you're just confused and dazed. There's any number of reasons why you could easily be taken advantage of in a situation like that. So all of that said, so we finally made it through. Didn't have to pay anyone off. I don't want to say off. Sorry, didn't have
we were
to.
Just laughing,
we didn't have any money left to bless anyone.
Laughing. We was laughing, but not laughing because you have all these signs up. Don't pay staff members or don't give staff money. But they were doing it right there in front of you. I'm just like, let it stop, please.
Please let it stop.
Yeah, so then we walked through the airport and we looking for an actual Delta lounge, Sky Lounge. Find one. You got to walk up this wooden staircase, and we got our carry-ons and backpacks. So I don't know. We got to the lounge. That was a nice refuge from everything that happened today. Got a couple of drinks, got a little bit to eat, and just sitting there watching 90 Day Fiancé on the laptop. Because
we had time to kill.
Yeah, we had time to kill.
Yeah, we had a good 4 hours or so in that lounge.
Yeah, but by the time we got out of the lounge, it was time to board. We had to find a gate. That was hard.
That was a little bit
Couldn't
confusing.
Figure out where the gate was. We finally found it, and then we had another checkpoint. I'm like, oh my God, we just went through customs, security, X-ray,
immigration,
porter, cart.
It's a lot.
I'm like, oh my God, we got to do another one. So they had to check our carry-ons.
It's like in Kenya when we went like 6 hours prior during this situation with all the temperature checks and paperwork and what have you nonsense. Already these African countries required you to be there at least a good 4 hours early anyways, and you need that time. But in this situation, 6 hours is not overdoing it.
Yeah.
There's so many things that can pop up and that you need. Submit, checkpoints that you go through from the time that you drive through the gate that lets you onto the what would be airport property until the time that you board your flight. You have almost a dozen people that are going to stop you and ask you to provide X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So
It was, it was just, I mean, he like physically checked me and checked my, my bags. And it's always the same thing, like, what's that? What's that? It's a tripod. What's that? Oh, it's a charger to the camera. Oh, you have a lot of stuff? Yeah, I like to take a lot of content. It's like the same things.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got on the plane. And even though they gave us a complimentary upgrade to comfort, we was right in between two guys.
We
I was
had
like,
the two
oh
middle
my
seats
God.
in the bank of 4.
Yes, hate to complain. Like, I'm not one to complain, but man, I wanted a really comfortable flight back, and you just can't be in the middle.
Man.
So
Of two fully grown men.
Yeah. So I had to, like,
on a 12-hour flight.
go to the bathroom a few times. I didn't care. I was like, excuse me, gotta go. I'm climbing over the other guy to sleep. It was not. But that wasn't, I don't know if we can't blame that on Nigeria.
No.
So
No.
the only other thing was, and we saw the bride, one of her cousins on the plane. That was cool.
That was cool, yeah.
Other than that, that flight was, I didn't sleep. I slept maybe an hour. Because
It
it's
was
hard.
no bueno.
I'm used to laying back on a bed, sort of, on a flight. So now that was really hard to get used to, just sitting there.
In the middle, right? It's like, it would have been one thing if we had at least been in the bank of 2 with a windowed aisle, like Ishé and I, but we were in the bank of 4 in the middle.
Yeah.
So it was an extremely uncomfortable flight. Not saying that Delta did anything, but I'm just confused about why we weren't able to upgrade. Because it was the first thing I checked once I set foot onto that aircraft, as I spoke to the greeter, the cabin crew member that was at the door, and I said, hey, we would like to upgrade. How can I do so? She said, no, it has to be done 24 hours in advance. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And
different stories.
Different stories, yeah. Different procedures, different this, that, and what have you. So, but for me, the most frustrating part was the fact that I couldn't even upgrade through the app, because I kept hearing, well, if you had done it on the app, it would have been cheaper, more efficient. But I genuinely couldn't, because those seats had been X'd off. And it would have required me purchasing a brand new ticket.
Some of us couldn't access the app because of where we were. It was just acting crazy. Even though I had a VPN, the app was just acting up. So
it was
Yeah.
It was a horrible flight. I was already beginning to get a sore throat. I was already, I'm still recovering now from my cold. It's Saturday, but I had started getting symptoms Tuesday morning when we woke up. So the fact that we had a 36-hour journey from the moment I woke up Tuesday morning after a very restless night, already having the symptoms of congestion and sore throat, etc., everything was just amplified because now I'm in a middle seat. I could not get comfortable. This poor man was trying to find one spot where he could just sit and, be entertained through, the film that he was trying to watch. But I just kept moving because everything hurt. Like, my body started to ache, my hips, my knees, everything started to get achy. When I tell you I couldn't sleep like this, I couldn't sleep like this, I couldn't sleep like this.
I ain't never seen nobody pull a tray out and sleep on it.
Man, really? Am I the
Yeah.
first one you've seen do that? Oh man.
I was like, dang, she really tired.
I was
Like,
desperate,
I can't sleep that way.
not
Like
sleeping.
you're in school or something.
Man, yeah. Have you guys ever done this? Like, bring the tray table down and then try to, and maybe use the pillow or a
I've
book
never
or
seen
something? I do it often. It never actually gets me any kind of rest, but I just find it really hard to be like this, because you know how the headrest tilts your head forward. I find this very uncomfortable in general. I can't sleep in this position, so I'll try to do this even though it doesn't ever get me anything. The most comfortable I am on a flight, if not on a flatbed, is if I get the bank of 4 to myself and I can lift up the armrest and then just lay down. That's literally like the best case scenario for me. If not doing the flatbed. But so yeah, it was a horrible flight. Obviously, by the time I landed, I was full on under the weather at that point. And so I've been home and not doing anything for the last 2 days. And Ishé has been patiently waiting for me to get my voice back so that we could do this vlog.
Gotta work.
Has ABC. ABC. So yeah, so what is there anything that I missed outside of the fact that the flight was long, 12 hours,
long,
uncomfortable?
But yeah, I mean, we got, oh, okay, so the flight was that, and then we got to Atlanta.
All right, and we had another 4 hours there.
Yeah, so we tried to get in the Sky Miles, and I got to get a new card because the card I got, it gives you you're supposed to get in the lounges for free when you have the cards. But my card...
It's the Delta Amex, guys.
Yeah,
it's
my
the
card,
Delta Amex.
It only gives you a discount, so it would have been $40 a person to get in the lounge. And we said, nah, forget it. We could just sit these 2 hours out. So
yeah, it was because it was $80 at that point.
Yeah, it's like, I tell you, you know, when you come for vacation,
yeah,
you like, man, I'm tired. Like, whatever else less unnecessary, like, I don't need it. So anyway, we walked around and we found a Cuban joint, a Cuban restaurant. We kicked it in there for a bit.
The playlist was phenomenal. It's like they knew we had just arrived from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because they were playing like Wizkid and we were just like, are we
restaurant,
back
too.
in Niger? Like, we
It's a
just
bar-
landed an hour ago.
A bar and restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was
cool.
breakfast time. It was like 6 in the morning. They was jamming.
Yeah.
Some reggae.
It
and
was
some
6, yeah.
Afro beats.
All of that.
We stayed there till like 9.
Yeah, even though their food options were abysmal for us, but we just hung out for the vibes.
Yeah, food wasn't. Yeah, I'll never.
Man, a whole restaurant, and literally like the only thing that him and I could eat from that whole menu was the empanadas.
Yeah, and they weren't.
And we didn't want them.
They didn't have the savory ones.
No,
had
they
the
were sweet,
dessert ones.
doughy, fried, and that's not what we needed.
Yeah, so that and the coffee was, that was breakfast. And then we got on our flight to DC and everything was a-okay.
Hallelujah.
We was sad to leave Nigeria, but happy to be home. Didn't want to leave, but we had to leave. So I mean, I love the country. I love Lagos and Abuja. So let's see, 5 things we hate about Nigeria.
I don't know that I have 5. But we'll definitely say the airport is a nightmare because you get it's like bees to honey. You get overwhelmed. But in addition to that, the other thing is also, this is separate but still airport related, is the fact that there is no way, like there's no shuttle or air train to connect the terminals. This is a huge to me fail of the entire the Nigerian airport system. I'm sorry, but as a person that wants to come to your country and be a patron and provide economy and bring cash flow and all the rest of that, I need you to meet me part way. And at least alleviate the journey from terminal to terminal for your guests. So that for me would be the second thing. How about you? What do you want to add to this? It's probably, probably not their fault, but the whole financial system, the financial tech system, like, we can't use our cards. So, I mean, we have to either get a Nigerian bank or find a credit card. I mean, we had credit cards with Visa on it. We had credit cards with MasterCard. None of them worked. So not being able to use your credit cards at like restaurants, and other places that you normally the hammam,
use a
the
credit
spa,
card.
like
Yeah,
that we
hotels.
could do.
You couldn't use
Hotels. Yeah, we had to, for our place in Abuja, we had to send money to the bride and groom
and they had to pay the hotel
to pay
for
on
us.
behalf. Yeah.
So we really had to make sure we paid everything else before we left, so they wouldn't
Right.
get stuck with it. And so yeah, we got the airport, we got the financial stuff with the cards, my debit cards. Luckily, I was able to go to the ATM machine. But you know, this society, I'm normally used to using cards everywhere, debits especially. Like I don't really use the credit card stuff online. Yeah, and then the internet with the not the internet itself, just you know, being from the States, having to get the VPN, and then some of the, so that I guess that wouldn't be against Nigeria, that'd be against the rest of the world. Well, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but there's no metro service in the biggest city. But I see why. I don't see how. Like it'd have to be a overground metro. But they have some other. They have one highway they got to fix because that was backed up.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. I can't even think of 5 things I hate about Nigeria.
Nigeria is really a great country to visit. So I guess on that note, we should talk about the 5 things that we love the most.
Let's do it.
Oh wait, this is not a hate, but this is just a cautionary tale for people who are like vegetarians or vegans.
Oh yeah.
I'll just say that trying to customize orders in Nigeria is very overwhelming. And this concept of vegetarianism and veganism is so foreign that even whilst we would just place orders for things like rice and plantains, because that's literally all that was available to us on the entire menu, they still found a way to drizzle a little bit of like chicken sauce or throw in a little bit of
cow skin,
a little piece of cow skin here or there. It was very traumatizing. I mean, I'm exaggerating somewhat, but
I'm traumatized because
I still have bubble guts.
My debit card won't work here, so I got to call the bank. So I was hoping it was just like the place I was at, but I tried it at 2 different places.
It's probably they blocked it because it came up as having been in Nigeria,
it was
unfortunately.
Declined. I was like, just got paid.
Damn.
But anyway, I would say, the vegetarian, the options for vegans and vegetarians really slim and
limited.
When you try to explain that you don't eat meat, they still think, like some broth, some animal broth or some animal gravy, you know,
to give it flavor.
Yeah.
Even though it's already
even though they put it on the side or they put it on your plate or whatever.
Yeah, oh, no, it's on your plate, on the side of that plate though. It's not like it's on a different
not on a different plate.
No, it's actually on the side of your plate. So there's still contamination.
Yeah, and then when you try to if you try to tell them to bring you something, you just say do this and leave the meat out.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's hard to grasp that because you're like, why in the world would somebody not want this meat? Lovely, you know, but there's some people who have restrictions that they want to do. So airport, fintech, VPN issue, vegan vegetarianism.
Yeah, those are the challenges, I would say.
Those are the challenges. And a lot of places don't have salads. Or
fruit bowls.
So, fruit bowls we can get from anybody walking on the street selling the fruit.
Well, you can buy the fresh fruit, but I just mean in terms of like having prepared fruit.
You can't do it.
It's not a big thing because so much cooked food is consumed that's kind of like what takes precedent.
Yeah, so the salads were not really, they were just iceberg lettuce with some Italian dressing on it.
Some craft on there.
Yeah.
No love.
No tomatoes really. Wow.
No.
So I would I thought the food options was a lot better in Lagos than Abuja.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They have really
Yeah.
really cool restaurants. We found a few
Yeah.
in Abuja, but
Like
a lot of them were closed down. Oh,
New York,
that
London
was another
style
thing.
restaurants.
Okay, that's so I'll put. Nah, I can't say that because Abuja. It could have been because of the virus. So a lot of coffee shops were closed down.
Right. That's
Oh,
true. And it
this
wasn't
is it.
updated.
Google. That is my fifth thing. Google failed. They kept failing us. Like nothing was updated because we had to follow Google to get to a lot of places that we want to see, and we get to those places and it wasn't there or it's closed. So yeah, airport, fintech, VPN, Google, and well, no, I can't say. We just have to not stay. Well, for her it doesn't matter, but we was in a Muslim hotel, so I couldn't even get a beer or wine.
But we were eating off of Versace porcelain dinnerware.
But to be fair, there was a lady
Dishware.
with a kiosk that was selling alcohol. So if I really wanted to get
that's true.
something, I could have went down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so
I think we're getting eaten alive. We're gonna have to wrap this up now because the sun is going down and
that's it. So we got
mosquitoes are coming out.
we only got 5 things we don't like about Nigeria, but we got 100 things we love. So
yeah,
basically we love it.
We loved it. We would go back in a heartbeat.
And we're planning
Delta
to go back.
One help us make that happen.
Yes.
But yeah, we would love to go back and do more of Lagos, more of Abuja, and even other areas. Like we want to see more of Nigeria. I can't say it enough. The people are warm. The food is delicious. The art scene is incomparable to anything I've seen elsewhere. It's very unique, very eccentric, bold. And the climate is wonderful. Yeah, honestly, just like very inviting. The entire country is just very inviting. A couple of things, that could use tweaking, but we understand that no place is perfect. So Nigeria, we love you. You're amazing. Invite us back.
Yeah.
But please fly us on the flatbed. We're delicate people.
And with that being said, we out.
Bye.